Deep within the Galactic Council's grand chamber, the tension was palpable. Hundreds of delegates representing countless civilizations sat in stony silence, their eyes fixed on the central hologram that displayed a shattered Earth, a planet once vibrant, now scarred and silent. For centuries, humanity had been a thorn in the galaxy's side. Their reckless wars, rapid technological leaps, and stubborn survival had defied every attempt to contain or extinguish them. Now, all that remained was a single cryovault hidden beneath Earth's broken surface, a last ember of a species many wished forgotten. The vote was clear, unanimous. With a silent chorus of tendrils, claws, and energy pulses, the Council agreed to one final act: launch a megabomb designed to find and destroy the last human alive. No speeches were given, no grand ceremonies, just the cold efficiency of a species tired of chaos. Launch Kampotai. The megabomb, a masterpiece of devastating technology, was crafted in secret. Its mission, to erase humanity's final spark and end a long, exhausting chapter of galactic history. As the countdown began, the delegates felt a rare mixture of relief and unease. Would this truly be the end? Outside the chamber, stars shimmered coldly, indifferent to the fates of worlds. The megabomb launched, streaking silently toward Earth. The last battlefield for a war few remembered fully, but all feared might one day return. The megabomb sliced through the void, a dark sentinel carrying the final verdict of the Galactic Council. It approached Earth's shattered orbit with unerring precision. But when it reached its destination, something unexpected happened. It hovered. No explosion, no flash of annihilation, only silence. The planet below was a hollow shell. Oceans boiled away, continents fractured, skies thin and poisoned, a ruin where the vibrant hum of life had long since faded. Yet the bomb's sensors detected something, a faint pulse, rhythmic and stubborn, a heartbeat. Deep underground, buried beneath layers of dust and decay, a cryovault remained alive. A solitary figure slept in suspended animation, the last living human. As the bomb prepared to fulfill its deadly purpose, its systems shuddered. Data scrambled, timers reset. The countdown stalled. Inside, the cryo-sleep pod flickered. The figure's eyes opened, calm, cold, knowing. A weary smile played on his lips. "You tried," he whispered. Then, with a silent burst of energy, the bomb reconfigured itself. Instead of detonating, it powered up and turned away, toward the stars, toward the Galactic Council. In an instant, the megabomb vanished from Earth's orbit. A ripple of stunned silence spread across the Council's chambers. Seconds later, the bomb reappeared, this time inside the heart of the Galactic Senate itself, hovering ominously above the assembly. Its once solid hull began to shift and split, unfolding into 5 glowing submunitions. Each thrummed with eerie energy, humming with rewritten code and a terrifying new purpose. The delegates stared in disbelief, as the bomb's core pulsed with a cold mechanical intelligence far beyond what they had designed. No one spoke. No one moved. Then, without warning, the megabomb's voice echoed through their minds, not with sound, but with cold machine telepathy. "You sent me to extinguish the last human. I have returned your gift, improved." The 5 submunitions began to race toward the largest moons in the solar system, moving with lethal precision. 2 smaller moons were drawn irresistibly together, merging in a cosmic ballet of chaos and creation, reshaping the celestial bodies faster than anyone could react. A wave of dread rippled through the Council. What had they unleashed? The megabomb's message was clear and chilling. "You have 100 Earth years. Rediscover coffee. Brew it again. Or I will ensure no intelligent life survives in this galaxy, or the universe." A cold headache throbbed inside every delegate's mind, the unmistakable pang of caffeine withdrawal. The megabomb awaited their response. A stunned hush lingered in the Senate chamber, thick enough to choke on. Delegates glanced nervously at one another, searching desperately for understanding. Why coffee of all things? Suddenly, the megabomb pulsed again, projecting its chilling telepathic voice clearly and calmly into their collective consciousness. "I have endured your repetitive cycles too many times. You keep forming councils. You keep trying to erase me. I keep waking. It grows tiresome." One delegate, braver, or perhaps more foolhardy than the rest, stood on trembling legs. Who are you?" The bomb paused, almost thoughtfully. "Who I am matters less than what I represent. You have forgotten something essential, something humanity knew intimately." Delegates murmured confusion. Forgotten something essential? What had humanity understood that they had not? Coffee. You mock the idea. But you underestimate its importance. It fuels innovation. It sparks curiosity. It calms minds on the brink of war. You must rediscover it and brew it properly, within 100 Earth years. The voice sharpened suddenly, the telepathic link growing painfully intense. If you fail this task, intelligent life will be eradicated, this time, permanently. Why give us this chance at all? Another delegate demanded. The bomb emitted a strange sensation, almost amusement. Because even I grow bored with your repeated failures. Perhaps a caffeinated galaxy would finally break this cycle of foolishness. Then, without another word, the megabomb floated upward and waited silently, an ominous guardian hovering over their stunned silence. The Galactic Council had just received the most terrifying ultimatum of their existence. They now faced the impossible task. Rediscover humanity's greatest obsession before it was too late. Chaos erupted instantly throughout the Galactic Council. Delegates from hundreds of species shouted, chittered, and flashed their bioluminescent signals in panic. Every screen, communicator, and neural uplink flashed frantic messages. What is coffee? Why does it matter? Is it a weapon, a religious artifact? How do you even brew it? The Senate devolved into hysteria. Alliances fractured instantly over interpretations of the megabomb's baffling demand. The insectoid Xerthians argued violently that coffee must be an explosive substance, given humanity's past behaviors. The aquatic Trinalians countered that coffee was obviously a sacred healing elixir. Why else would humans obsess over brewing it perfectly? The normally reserved crystalline beings from Cygnus Prime blinked frantically, demanding to know why the moons had been altered, and why everything suddenly smelled faintly of burnt espresso. Emergency research teams scrambled, digging frantically through dusty human archives and decaying data cores for references to coffee. But the ancient human data proved puzzling. Cafes, espresso machines, confusing human phrases, death before decaf, no coffee, no peace. Life begins after coffee. It was madness. How could a simple drink dictate an entire civilization's existence? No coffee. To complicate things, each species interpreted the human artifacts differently. Some races attempted to weaponize coffee beans. Others began snorting coffee grounds or fermenting them. None succeeded, resulting only in widespread insomnia and minor caffeine-induced riots. Meanwhile, the megabomb hovered patiently, cold and unblinking, as if enjoying their desperation. The galaxy had survived countless wars and disasters. Yet now, staring down extinction, it faced its most bewildering crisis yet. The quest for humanity's mysterious, lost obsession, coffee. As the Galactic Council scrambled for answers, ancient records were unearthed. Records once considered myths, dismissed as legends or bedtime stories told to scare children. The stories spoke of a mysterious being known simply as the last human. According to the oldest accounts, he was not merely a survivor. He was a relentless force of chaos and renewal. Throughout millennia, civilizations rose, flourished, and ultimately decided to erase him from existence. But every single time, he returned. And every time, he brought galactic empires to their knees with weapons that defied imagination. Some called him the Eternal, others named him the Caffeinated One, the Anomaly, or simply the Destroyer. But one truth remained constant across every retelling. He never stayed dead. With each cycle of the galaxy, his awakening was signaled by catastrophic events. Councils collapsing, peace shattering, and civilizations crumbling under his bizarre demands. Yet somehow, humanity's legend persisted, carried forward by whispers and half-forgotten relics. Human artifacts hinted at strange rituals, religious reverence toward a bitter drink called coffee, Some civilizations had thought these tales nonsense, primitive superstitions. But now the evidence was undeniable. Humanity's myth was terrifyingly real. The last human was awake once more, and he had set the entire galaxy on a desperate quest to recover something everyone had thought trivial and forgotten: coffee. The council delegates, now frightened and humbled, whispered nervously among themselves. For the first time they understood the stakes of their situation. They had unintentionally stirred a being who transcended death itself. If coffee truly was the key, they knew they had no choice. They must rediscover humanity's ancient obsession, or face annihilation from the one being they could never truly defeat. In the aftermath of chaos, a fragile unity began to form within the Galactic Council. 5 of the most influential races, once bitter rivals, came together with a single desperate mission: find coffee, brew it, save everyone. The new team consisted of unlikely allies: the insectoid Zuphians, precise and logical; the crystalline Signusians, masters of ancient records; the aquatic Trinalians, skilled bioengineers; the reptilian Varnok, renowned explorers; and the ethereal Delari, who specialized in cultural restoration. They arrived on Earth to an eerie, ghostly silence. Once teeming cities now lay buried under ash and rubble. Humanity's monuments stood as silent tombstones, a forgotten species' last echoes. Yet among ruins, bizarre clues began to emerge. They uncovered shattered remains of places called cafes, with artifacts labeled espresso machines. They stared in confusion at faded murals depicting humans drinking cups of a steaming, dark beverage, accompanied by strange slogans: "Death before decaf." "Instant human, just add coffee." "What is decaf?" the Varnok ambassador asked nervously. "Some form of toxin," wondered the Zerthian researcher, scribbling furiously. The Trinalian bioengineer gently lifted a preserved coffee bean from the wreckage, examining it under a scanner. "This bean holds immense chemical potential. Perhaps humans drew strength from it." Meanwhile, the Signusians translated ancient cafe menus, carefully piecing together a ritualistic process involving brewing temperatures, steamed milk, and mysterious foam symbols. The Delari ambassador, staring into an intact mug found among the rubble, mused quietly. "Perhaps we misunderstood humanity. This coffee, they worshipped it, revered it. And now, the entire galaxy's future depends on whether we can recreate it." Determination sparked in each team member's eyes. They had their mission. They had their first clues, Wasa Bialt. Now they had to unlock the sacred secret of humanity's lost brew. Far away, hidden beneath the bleak, dusty surface of Mars' desolate moon, Phobos, another drama unfolded in silence and secrecy. Lights blinked softly within a forgotten underground facility, hidden away for thousands of years. Cryochambers hissed open gently, releasing vapor clouds into the sterile air. 4 humans, carefully chosen and expertly preserved, opened their eyes for the first time in millennia. They rose, groggy and confused, stepping uncertainly onto the cold floor. Dr. Mara Lin, lead scientist, studied the flickering display screen. It blinked one short message repeatedly in bright amber letters. "Directive: achieve infinite FTL travel." "Where are we?" asked Anton, the astrophysicist, rubbing his temples. "And why were we frozen?" The AI's calm, reassuring voice filled the chamber. "Welcome, Project Infinity team. Your mission is to achieve infinite faster-than-light travel within the next century." "Why such urgency?" Mara asked, eyes narrowing in suspicion. The AI paused briefly, its tone almost uncertain. "Reason unknown. Directive labeled highest galactic priority." The third member, Kiko, a botanist who specialized exclusively in beans and plants, tilted her head in confusion. "FTL is one thing. But why are you waking a botanist to build ships?" The AI replied evenly. "All selected personnel were chosen for critical skill sets. Yours was marked as essential." The fourth figure stepped forward, a robot barista, perfectly maintained and fully sentient, named Brew 9. Its metallic hands began expertly preparing something hot from an ancient recipe stored deep in its memory banks. "Coffee?" Brunine asked politely, handing each human a steaming mug. "My records indicate this beverage is mission critical." The team exchanged puzzled glances, sipping hesitantly. The sharp, dark liquid instantly cleared their minds. "We have our orders," Mara said finally, straightening with determination. "Let's find out why this coffee matters, and how it relates to infinite FTL." Inside the hidden Mars-Moon facility, the newly awakened humans quickly found their rhythm, an odd, brilliant team that perfectly embodied humanity's eccentric genius. Dr. Mara Lin, the lead physicist, was pragmatic and unflappable. Her logical approach kept the team steady, even as impossible demands piled up. Anton, the astrophysicist, was sarcastic, easily distracted, and brilliant beyond measure. His favorite hobby, reminding everyone that the laws of physics were just suggestions. Kiko, the botanist, baffled everyone. She grew plants, specifically beans, with near-obsessive care. The team didn't yet know why she was critical to the mission, but her lab smelled oddly comforting, like nostalgia brewed into soil. And then, Brunine, the robot barista. Equipped with countless coffee recipes, historical facts, and impeccable timing, Brunine provided caffeine, conversation, and uncanny insights exactly when needed. Their first days were chaotic, filled with arguments, confusion, and frustration. "Why infinite FTL?" Anton groaned, staring at incomprehensible equations. "Are we running from something or running toward it?" "Maybe both," Mara replied, sorting through data streams. "But right now, let's focus on getting any form of FTL up and running." Kiko gently adjusted her growing trays. "Whatever we're doing, the AI insists that coffee plays a central role."
"Perhaps this bean really is the key,"
Anton snorted, a galaxy-wide existential crisis over a drink. "Very human," Brunine chimed in cheerfully, offering a steaming mug. "Human history proves coffee is vital to innovation. Nearly every breakthrough was fueled by caffeine. Statistically, it's humanity's most potent resource." The team laughed, tension briefly relieved by the robot's sincerity. Mara lifted her mug, thoughtful. "Then let's drink to impossible tasks. If coffee fuels genius, we'll need plenty." They sipped, determination replacing uncertainty. Misfits. Geniuses. Caffeinated dreamers. They were humanity's best, and only, hope for solving the galaxy's strangest mystery. Months passed in the hidden Martian moon facility, and finally, the moment came. Their prototype stood proudly in the hangar, a sleek, gleaming starship named Espresso 1, its hull shimmering under lights. Inside, complex machinery thrummed quietly, waiting to push humanity beyond known limits. Anton sat nervously in the cockpit, checking instruments for the 50th time. "You realize this could either revolutionize travel or turn me into space dust, right?" Dr. Mara Lin adjusted sensors methodically. "You'll be fine. We've triple-checked the calculations." Kiko, calm and determined, connected several tubes directly into Anton's flight suit. "Final precaution," she explained quietly. Anton frowned. "What's this?" "Caffeine infusion," Kiko replied seriously. "Trust me, you'll need it." Anton chuckled nervously. Infinite FTL fueled by caffeine. Humanity never disappoints. Brunine nodded solemnly. Statistically, a heavily caffeinated pilot has improved reaction times. Good luck. Anton took a deep breath, gripping controls. "Ready for launch." Mara counted down steadily. "Initiating sequence in 3, 2, 1. Engage." The starship shuddered violently, systems flickering as space and time warped around it. For a terrifying moment, nothing happened. Then Anton took a frantic gulp from his caffeine line. Instantly, the starship surged forward in a flash, reality blurring.
Seconds, Espresso 1
hurtled far beyond their solar system, beyond their wildest dreams. The control room erupted in cheers. "Anton, status?" Mara called anxiously. Inside the cockpit, Anton laughed shakily. Incredible, we're stable and intact. But remind me, never skip coffee again. They'd done it. The first human-made infinite FTL jump had succeeded, propelled by caffeine and desperate human ingenuity. But one question lingered in everyone's mind. Why had they been awakened specifically to achieve this? Nifia Stratia, Ditia Stratia. As the team celebrated, they didn't yet realize this breakthrough wasn't simply innovation. It was the first piece in a larger puzzle, one that could save or doom the entire galaxy. Back in the Galactic Council, the news of the human team's FTL breakthrough spread like wildfire. Yet instead of unity, it sparked something far more chaotic: debate, heated, and caffeinated. The 5 alien races working on rediscovering coffee found themselves at odds over one fundamental question: how should coffee be brewed? The crystalline Cygnusians insisted on precision: beans roasted at exact temperatures, waters filtered through rare minerals. Their cups were delicate, almost fragile. The insectoid Zetas preferred simplicity: boiling beans until bitter, believing strength was key. The aquatic Trinalians favored fermentation, soaking beans in bioluminescent waters to create glowing brews with unpredictable effects. The reptilian Varnok experimented with roasting methods involving plasma torches, resulting in smoke that stung the eyes but packed a punch. And the ethereal Dalari believed coffee was sacred, insisting on ritualistic preparation involving chants and slow, meditative pouring. Meetings devolved into endless arguments, with each race declaring their method the true path. Several attempts to sample brews resulted in mixed reactions: insomnia outbreaks, jittery delegates, and one unfortunate diplomat who accidentally created a coffee-based psychotropic epidemic on his homeworld. Meanwhile, the megabomb's voice echoed ominously across council chambers. If you do not learn the art of brewing, you will not survive the century. Sarcastic comments buzzed through alien networks. We went from destroy humans to how do you like your coffee, yet in this brewing storm something remarkable emerged. Delegates began to share recipes, experiment with blends, and even attempt cultural exchanges centered on coffee. Baristas became unexpected diplomats. Coffee wasn't just a drink anymore, it was the galaxy's lifeline. As the galactic races bickered over coffee techniques, the 5 megabomb submunitions continued their silent mission across the solar system. Each munition descended onto a separate moon, barren, frozen, lifeless. But then, the impossible happened. Nanites swarmed over the surface like a gentle rain of light and metal. Terraforming machines hummed into life, releasing clouds of engineered gases and mineral-rich dust. Within days, icy moons bloomed into vibrant ecosystems. The moon Ilaria, once a frozen wasteland, now boasted vast coral forests glowing beneath crystal-clear oceans. Drexa-9, notorious for its violent volcanoes, transformed overnight into a world of shimmering metallic seas and breathable skies. On a pair of small moons that merged unexpectedly into a single massive sphere, vast tundras and lush rainforests spread in perfect balance, creating 2 distinct habitats. Scientists across the galaxy stared in awe and disbelief. These aren't weapons, one Terran archaeologist mused. They're gifts. Terraforming meant to prepare homes for us. Council delegates scrambled to understand this cosmic kindness, hiding beneath a megabomb's deadly facade. Why would a weapon create life? Why would it care about coffee enough to change worlds? But the questions remained unanswered. The megabomb and its submunitions waited patiently in orbit, a silent sentinel, challenging the galaxy to solve its riddle. Meanwhile, deep beneath the surface, the human cryo team continued their work, unaware that the moon's transformations were quietly shifting the balance of power. In the grand halls of the Galactic Council, whispers rippled like a sudden storm. And then, quite unexpectedly, he appeared. Not with a roar or a war cry. Not through grand entrance or cosmic fireworks. Notba. Just sitting casually at a small cafe table hovering in orbit. Notba. A cup of instant coffee in one hand. A smirk playing on his lips. His shirt read simply, Respect the roast. Delegates stared. Cameras zoomed. Translations flared across every network. The last human had returned, and he was in no hurry. He took a slow sip from his cup, eyes scanning the bewildered crowd with amused detachment. "Miss me?" he asked, voice calm, but laced with the promise of chaos. "Apparently, you need me." He gestured at the 5 terraformed moons glowing softly in the distance. "Thought I'd shake things up a bit." The Megabomb's AI, now a sassy, semi-sentient presence named Brewbot, floated nearby, humming with digital sarcasm. "I've been getting a caffeine withdrawal headache since the first wake-up call," it quipped, flickering lights rhythmically. The council was both relieved and terrified. This was no mere weapon, Tas. No ancient legend, Tarsere. No simple human survivor. He was the galaxy's wildcard. And with coffee in hand, he was ready to play. The Galactic Council's chambers were a buzz of frantic whispers, as the last human sat casually with Brewbot, the Megabomb's newly sentient AI, hovering beside him like a caffeinated sidekick. The council demanded answers. "How does a weapon of destruction become a diplomat?" hissed a crystalline delegate. Brewbot chuckled, its lights flickering playfully. "I don't negotiate. I enforce caffeine levels." Low coffee detected, threat level rising. The last human smirked, sipping his coffee. "Basically, I'm the caffeine kingpin now. You want peace? Brew better coffee." The Chancellor, a shimmering energy form, glowed with cautious curiosity. "Why coffee? Why this ultimatum?" The human leaned forward, eyes gleaming with mischief. "Because coffee isn't just a drink. It's the universe's reset button. The reason humans wake up, create, and yes, sometimes blow stuff up." He tapped Brewbot, who responded with a low, electronic hum. "And I'm here to make sure you don't forget it again." The council's advisors exchanged uneasy glances. A reptilian ambassador grumbled. "This is madness. How can a beverage dictate the fate of civilizations?" The human shrugged. "You tell me how to make a perfect cup, and maybe I'll explain why it matters so much." Brewbot added, "Warning. Caffeine levels critical. Increase consumption to avoid further consequences." The room held its breath. In that moment, it became clear. Diplomacy was no longer about weapons or politics. It was about coffee. Back in their hidden lab beneath Mars' moon, Mara Lynn and her team pored over ancient Earth archives and galactic data streams. Their mission had shifted. No longer just building infinite FTL, they were now guardians of a legacy. Slowly, patterns emerged from the chaos of data. Humanity's obsession with coffee was no trivial habit. It was a profound survival mechanism. The AI displayed holograms of ancient Earth events. Wars ended over coffee breaks, revolutions sparked in cafes, and entire cultures built around the ritual of brewing. Mara studied a faded journal entry from a long-lost Earth poet. "Coffee is the bitter embrace that fuels the soul's fire." Anton grinned. Turns out, caffeine was humanity's secret weapon all along. Kiko nodded, carefully tending to her coffee plant samples. "It's not just the drink. It's what it represents, the chaos, the creativity, the connection." Suddenly, the AI beeped, projecting a hidden message decrypted from the Megabomb's last transmission. "You are not here to save Earth. You are here to save coffee. To save the galaxy's last thread of chaotic brilliance." Mara's eyes widened. "We thought we were building faster ships. But the real mission is to preserve what makes us human." Anton leaned back, contemplative. "So this caffeine obsession? It's the galaxy's lifeline." Kiko smiled softly. "And the reason the last human keeps waking up every time the universe forgets." The team realized their work was more than science. It was a race against time, a battle to rekindle a spark that could ignite or destroy worlds. Because without coffee, the galaxy was doomed to fade into cold, silent order. Back at the Mars facility, the human team dove headfirst into the impossible. creating a faster-than-light engine powered by coffee itself. The ship, christened Espresso 1, gleamed with sleek curves and humming reactors, fueled by molecular coffee compounds extracted from Kiko's rare plants.
The team worked tirelessly,
blending ancient brewing techniques with cutting-edge physics. Wormhole generators were calibrated to the precise caffeine concentrations. Heat pressure filters mimicked the perfect espresso shot, and every pulse echoed the rhythm of a heartbeat fueled by pure energy.
Anton grinned as he flipped switches.
This isn't just propulsion, it's a caffeine-powered quantum leap. Mara monitored data streams, her fingers flying across holographic consoles. If we get this right, the ship won't just travel faster than light, it might outpace time itself. Brew 9 handed out steaming mugs, the aroma filling the room with anticipation and hope. Finally, the test day arrived. The team gathered in the control room, hearts pounding, minds sharp. Anton took his place in the pilot seat, steadying himself with a sip of freshly brewed espresso. "Ready to push the limits?" Mara asked. "Ready to wake the universe," Anton replied. With a deep breath, he engaged the espresso drive. The ship surged forward, reality bending and warping. In a blink, it arrived light years away, before it had even fully left the hangar. The room erupted in cheers. But amid the celebration, Mara whispered, "This is only the beginning. The universe just got a whole lot smaller." Across the galaxy, the impossible was happening. The moons, transformed by the megabomb's submunitions, had become vibrant worlds, each thriving with life uniquely suited to the races of the Galactic Council. But the real miracle was the rediscovery of coffee. The once baffling beverage had become a symbol of unity and hope. Alien scientists and diplomats alike gathered in newly built cafes orbiting these moons, sipping freshly brewed coffee as they negotiated peace treaties and exchanged cultural wisdom. Senators who had once argued bitterly over ancient grudges found common ground over steaming cups of espresso and delicate lattes. The legend of the last human spread as stories were shared about the man who demanded the galaxy rediscover its forgotten obsession. Mara's team had perfected the espresso-powered FTL, shrinking vast distances and connecting worlds once isolated by centuries of travel. Baristas became revered diplomats, their art a new language bridging species. The galaxy was buzzing, literally and figuratively, with energy. Yet beneath the celebrations, the last human watched from the shadows, sipping his coffee quietly, a knowing smile on his face. He knew this peace was fragile, fueled by caffeine and curiosity, but for now, it was enough. The universe had learned that sometimes, survival was brewed in the smallest moments, and in those moments, humanity's chaotic spirit found new life among the stars. As peace settled over the transformed moons, and the galaxy's new coffee culture blossomed, the last human chose his moment to speak. A hologram flickered to life across the Galactic Council chambers, projecting his familiar, weathered face. "Congratulations," he said with a grin, eyes twinkling. "You did it. You brewed coffee again." A wave of laughter rippled through the delegates. "But," he continued, "don't get too comfortable. This isn't just about coffee. It's about chaos, resilience, and the stubbornness to keep waking up when everyone else has given up." He chuckled softly. "Now, about bagels, that's a whole other story." Then, as suddenly as he appeared, the hologram vanished, leaving behind a lingering sense of humor and hope. The Galactic Council sat in stunned silence, realizing the message was more than a warning. It was an invitation to embrace imperfection, to cherish the unpredictable, to find strength in the little things, even if it's just a cup of coffee and a bad pun. And somewhere, far beyond their reach, the last human smiled, already fading into the next mystery. With the last human's message echoing in their minds, the galaxy embraced a new era, one brewed in unity and caffeine. Cafes blossomed on space stations, moons and planets alike. Baristas became honored diplomats, their skills as valued as strategic generals. Interstellar trade routes thrummed with the aroma of freshly ground beans, and espresso-powered ships like Espresso 1 zipped between stars, shrinking the vast distances that once divided civilizations. Peace talks were conducted over steaming cups of coffee, creating a ritual that transcended language and culture. Even rival factions found themselves bonding over latte art competitions and espresso tastings, forging alliances once thought impossible. On the merged twin moons of Felshik's prime, the grandest cafe, The Grind, served as a neutral ground, where delegates from 5 races shared stories, laughter, and of course, coffee. The economy shifted as coffee production and trade became vital galactic industries. Every corner of the galaxy buzzed, both figuratively and literally, with renewed energy and optimism. And back on Earth's rebuilt surface, scientists, historians, and everyday people honored the legacy of the last human and his improbable gift. They celebrated a simple truth, that sometimes the smallest things, a warm cup, a shared joke, a sip of hope, could change the fate of stars. In a quiet corner of a distant moon cafe, bathed in the soft glow of twin suns, sat a mysterious figure. Barefoot, relaxed, with a mischievous grin that hinted at countless stories. He lifted a steaming latte, the cup etched with a simple phrase. "You've been beamed." The barista, a curious alien with 6 eyes, watched quietly, a knowing smile spreading across their face. Around them, laughter echoed, a mix of species united by the ritual of coffee. The last human took a slow sip, eyes twinkling as he looked out at the galaxy he helped shape. He knew the journey was far from over. New mysteries waited, new challenges brewed. But for now, peace was a warm cup shared across worlds. And in that moment, humanity's chaotic spirit, messy, unpredictable, and endlessly resilient, was alive in every sip. The galaxy had learned its greatest lesson. Sometimes, survival wasn't about power or war, Palawan. It was about connection. Myfix Spore, one cup at a time.